squeeze in. All right. Are we ready?
Welcome. I know there's 24 states outside of Pennsylvania represented, so I want to say a special welcome to our out-of-state visitors. I want to say to all of you, please come back and bring your friends. We're delighted to have you here. We're delighted to be a partner in this fantastic sojourn. You probably know that Pennsylvania has thousands of miles of trails. In fact, one of the best developed rail trail systems in the country. You understand that trails connect communities and people to our natural resources. They connect communities and economies to our natural resources. And they have become more and more real tools for communities like Jersey Shore, who are embracing the river, embracing the trails, embracing the natural resources, and positioning them as an economic revitalization strategy. This region had a history of manufacturing and timbering and a lot of heavy industrial type activity, farming, that changed over the last several generations. And around the state, communities, particularly along the river, along this absolutely magnificent Susquehanna River, have had to try to reinvent themselves. They've had to try to find a way to survive and position themselves in a new world. Try to find a new reason to exist. And more communities in Pennsylvania, especially along the river, are turning to the river. They're embracing the river and making it the central focus of their revitalization strategy. We're excited at DCNR to be a part of that. We're a big investor in trails and greenways. The trail that you ride is going to be expanded into Jersey Shore, and based on the lobbying effort that I endured over dinner tonight, well beyond Jersey Shore, there is a huge opportunity here in the Pennsylvania wilds to create additional world-class riding opportunities. You're all familiar with the Pine Creek Gorge, Grand Canyon of Pennsylvania, one of the best riding opportunities in the world, and we want to expand that north, south, east, and west, so that there are even more abundant opportunities in this region to ride the trails, to connect with nature, and to enjoy our natural resources. But this whole idea of recreation as an economic development tool, the importance of conservation, at the end of the day, it's all about partnerships. None of this work would happen without partnerships. We've been a partner in this greenway and trail development for over 20 years at DCNR. We've had incredible partners here within state government. Our Department of Transportation has brought truckloads of money to trail development in Pennsylvania. Groups like 10,000 Friends of Pennsylvania, the local officials like Coming County, Jersey Shore, municipal officials, all have been just incredible partners. They too see the power of connecting community revitalization to our natural resources. We think we're providing a model not only for the state, but for the country, and I think indeed for the world. So expanding this system are important priorities for us. We think we've only begun to scratch the surface here in the Pennsylvania wilds. We intend to do more. But the importance of that work and the centrality of that work raises, in these times, some pretty important questions. This difficult economic climate is requiring states all over this country to make choices, and in most cases make very difficult choices. The money that we invest in trails, in greenways, runs out at the end of next year, and the other dedicated funding sources are all down because they're tied to the economic activity. So, for example, some of the money that we use for trail development comes from a little sliver of the real estate transfer tax in Pennsylvania. So with the decline in the housing market, what has happened to our revenues? They've gone south. So across the board, we're facing challenges and choices. And it's calling into question, what is the role of greenways? What is the role of trails? What is the role of sustainability in community revitalization? And indeed, what is the role of the commons? The concept of the commons in this country is at risk. But at the state level, where so many of these decisions are made, the concept of shared access to natural resources, trails, natural resource protection, sustainable community revitalization, all of those concepts are at risk. We're questioning what is the role of all of these wonderful things in our lives when we face resource constraints. So the real questions are, what kind of a state here in Pennsylvania, but across the country, what kind of country, what kind of society do we want to have? Do we want a society where access to natural resources is not the first thing that gets pitched overboard when times are tough? Do our citizens have a right to clean air, clean water, and access to their natural birthright? Or are those things, in a time of tight budgets, going to be based on ability to pay? That is a fundamental question that we have to face in these times, certainly at the level of state government. So how we answer those questions is going to affect not only communities like Jersey Shore, not only your opportunities to recreate in a beautiful state like Pennsylvania, it's going to affect our kids, your grandson, it's going to affect all of our futures. So how those questions are answered in Harrisburg and in state capitals across this country is something that we all need to pay attention to. So as you ride, and probably more importantly, when you go home, I would urge you to keep these questions in mind, to engage as citizens. You know, we still in this country live in a free society, and we have a responsibility to participate in the process. John Kennedy said that in a democracy, every citizen, regardless of his interest in politics, holds office. Every one of us is in a position of accountability, and in the final analysis, the kind of government we get depends upon how we fulfill those responsibilities. He said that we, the people, are the boss, and we will get the kind of political leadership, be it good or bad, that we demand and deserve. And folks, tonight, I tell you, we will get what we deserve. I think you folks represent what the conservation and sustainability community is all about. And I urge you to participate as citizens and make sure that these answers are the right ones. So thank you, welcome, have a great time.